Yeah, so always a tough day when you have to make a lot of roster moves, which we had to make today. We're at 53 now. And look, we had to release some good players. There's still a lot to be done in terms of the roster with the practice squad and things of that nature. So that process never really ends. But we went out and had a good practice today, and we're moving forward and starting to get ready for the start of the regular season.
Yeah, anticipating anybody start the season on Monday?
I don't know for sure on that answer. That's probably something that would, if that's the case, would probably occur at some point next week.
How tough is the decision you had to make at kicker?
Tough, real tough. Will's been a good kicker for us for a while now, and so that was obviously a tough decision. Look, we felt like we had a chance to get value for a player, and we felt like we had another guy in the building that we had confidence in. So those are always challenging situations.
With both of the undrafted rookie kicker and punter, was it just that, they exceeded expectations and like almost made it sort of an undeniable type of choice?
Well, look, I don't know if it was undeniable. I mean, it's a tough situation to be in, but yet it's a good situation because we felt like, of those four, we had four guys that are NFL caliber players, and so, we decided to go with the young guys.
Does being younger, cost-effective, longer contracts,
Look, there's a lot of things that go into, roster decisions, and so, we basically took everything into account when we made these decisions.
What about Blake's makeup makes you feel like he's the guy?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily about the makeup. Certainly I think he's a confident young man, but I think it's really just about the fact that he's gone out and performed well. And look, every player at some point has been his first opportunity, and so I don't think we're unique in that situation.
Yeah, if you're able to share an update on Jameis Winston not being at practice?
He injured his wrist in the game. It's not significant. I think it's more or less a day-to-day deal.
Who talked about this on
We'll just leave it at that for right now. I can't wait for the regular season where I can just put out an injury report and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I was wondering how long you were.
It's not much longer.
Sorry. How difficult was it to release Bradley Roby, a guy who's been with you all?
Extremely.
What
Yeah.
did that decision, the confidence in the young DBs?
Yeah, I think, again, like we've talked about with a lot of things, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But yeah, we do have confidence in the young DBs being able to step in and do that job. And so, like I said, there's always a lot of difficult decisions that have to be made at this time of year. And we made the ones that we feel like are all-encompassing best for our football team.
What does that say about your confidence in Alontae Taylor being able to play the slot?
Yeah, I'm extremely confident in that. He's got all the ability to be able to do it. The one thing he lacks is the experience in there, and certainly he'll gain that experience as he gets more and more playing time in there. We got a lot of time between now and the time we line up against Tennessee, so that's where a lot of his focus will be.
Is Ugo Amadi another candidate that we
Yeah.
see could be that? I mean, confidence in what you saw from him as well?
Yeah, I thought he had a really good preseason. He did a lot of good things, not only in the games and the practices. So I thought, the preseason was a really good exposure for him.
Do you think you'll have more moves to make before the opener? You think this
Well, certainly there's 16 practice squad guys. That's hard for me to say whether or not there'll be any more moves or not. But typically there's a lot of moves that happen within the first, call it month of the season. Really, there's a lot of up and down off the roster, practice squad, off the practice squad. There's generally a pretty good amount of movement throughout the league. I have no idea, as I sit here right now, what any other transactions happened across the league, really. So obviously we'll take a look at the transactions today and You know, there's a claiming process that goes on. There's veterans that get released off of other teams. So we're always looking for any way that we can maybe improve our football team.
I was gonna actually ask you, what's this process like after all the decisions made? Like, how much time do you guys, like, how late are you gonna be here to make potential guys for the
We'll be here for a while, you know. So we've got, you know, roster issues to deal with. You know, we'll look and see, you know, what moves other teams made across the league. Our personnel guys will be, you know, heavily involved in evaluating players, and we feel like we've got some guys that we kind of like. You know, coaches will get involved in that, and then we've also got some, you know, game planning stuff in terms of getting ready for Tennessee. So there's a lot to get done.
Is there a chance Jared Smith could be back?
I would say there's a chance, yeah, absolutely.
your entire rookie class, may this be in the three, like, out of those guys in training camp, specifically guys like A.T. Perry?
Well, look, I think, you know, I feel like all the young guys, particularly the draft choices, you know, stepped up and performed at a high level during training camp. There's always a little bit of, I don't know what that word is, trepidation or whatever with you know, young kids. We all like, you know, the experienced player, but yet at the same time, you know, having young guys that you can develop, always having, you know, a pipeline to your football team, I think is important. So it's always a good balance to have, you know, the older veteran guys that provide the leadership and experience, the veteran players that are in, say, years 3 through 7, somewhere in there, that are experienced but aren't at the level of the leadership level maybe that some of those older veteran guys are, and then young guys that you're developing. I think we've done a pretty good job of developing guys around here.
What did you like so much about Kirk Merritt's transition to running back that he kind of outlasted some more experienced guys?
Yeah, well, I think it's probably a little bit twofold. I thought early on, I thought there were some growing pains with that transition. I thought there was a point in training camp where, you know, he really looked good, and we felt like, man, this is a guy that we kind of like. And then obviously with the injury, it's been a setback there. So, and yet, running back is a position that we're probably a little light at. You know, with Alvin, you know, going on the suspension list. So, you know, that was a position that we felt like, well, we need to keep the extra guy, and you know, we'll see where it goes from there.
His ability to be sort of a space player like Alvin, is that?
Yeah, probably a little bit. I mean, he's got a unique skill set. I think also his ability to potentially help us on special teams is valuable.
Dennis, did AK officially go on the list today? Like, is he away from that?
He is, yeah.
Follow up on Lou's question earlier about all 7 draft picks. That make you feel good, but specifically the earlier picks, I think, not that they didn't earn it as much, but the later picks like Jordan Howden and A.T. Perry, I mean, those guys had to have done something that, you know, what can you highlight on Howden and Perry's kind of development throughout camp?
Yeah, look, I think they got better every single day, and you know, you started seeing some consistency in performance. It didn't start out that way, but over the course of time, throughout all of OTAs, training camp, through the preseason, they proved that they were worthy of a roster spot. You know, I think it's a testament to not only our college scouting department and going out and finding these players that fit both what we're looking for from an athletic skill set standpoint, from a mental standpoint, from a culture standpoint. And then I think it's also a testament to the assistant coaches in developing these guys. And that's the business of pro football. Draft and develop, draft and develop, draft and develop. And so I think it's a testament to both, you know, the college scouting and also our coaching staff.
We've seen a lot of these UDFAs over the last few years. Year 1 is kind of development, you know, you're going to see guys like Nephi, Kirk this year kind of latch onto the roster. Is that kind of the messaging to some of these younger players who might be getting caught right now is, okay, keep developing, keep developing?
Yeah, look, there's guys that make NFL teams from all sorts of different backgrounds, whether it's, you know, a tryout guy, an undrafted free agent, a draft choice, a free agent that you acquire from another team. So I just think, you know, we're in the business of developing players, and that's what our job is as a coaching staff. And if you get the right players that fit your needs, what you're looking for in terms of the athlete, the skill set, the mental makeup, as well as fit your culture, I think there's a chance for those guys to come in and have success.
Dennis, on Jimmy Graham, did he solidify his spot with his Sunday performance, or it was just kind of reaffirmed bringing in from Freeman?
No, I think the last game was important for Jimmy, and you know, like I said the other day, you know, I started to see signs of what I was looking for, you know, out in LA in the practices against the Chargers. I think that continued into last week practice and on into the game. So I'd say the last 14 days have been important in terms of, you know, his ability to be a part of this team. Okay, guys, thanks.